Hi, I'm Junior, and as you heard, I'm gonna be
О, он
performing
реально с
of
вебкой витубера.
SSX 2000 All Race Golds. This is ran in the single event category, which means I just play each track once, and the objective is to play all 6 tracks within the race category of the game. Before I get too deep into it, I'd
Категория
like to
будет
introduce Helix, my
сингл-ивентом, это
commentator,
значит,
say hi,
что
Helix.
все трассы будут проходить только по одному разу.
That's what you told me
Также
to
вот
say.
все
They did say
на
it.
голду.
Um,
Еще было, как я
I know
понимаю,
that
война донатов
there's
за
been a
то,
very
каким
competitive
персонажем
bidding war
будут
for
играть.
who's going to be chosen as the character. So since I'm not entirely sure who's won or winning, who should I be playing?
I cannot believe this. This is the closest I have ever seen any bid war in anything ever.
Это была очень яркая
This is
борьба,
back and
прям
forth. Thank you,
назрыв
everyone, for
назрыв.
raising over $1,000 towards this donation incentive. Our
Вот.
winner by literally 20 cents. 20 cents is Kaori. We will be using Kaori for this run.
Amazing. I couldn't
Каори
beat that.
выигрывает
20
с
cents?
разницей в
I've seen it
20
before,
центов
but I've
всего.
never seen that before.
That's insane. I love it. Well, I'm down with that. Okay.
Ладно,
the order I
ребят,
choose the tracks in
как
doesn't
бы
really matter. It used to.
давайте уважать
With the
витуберов,
new
да.
alteration, rather. It looks
Просто
upside down
спидранер очень любит
in
Дашу
any other
путешественницу,
one.
там анимация
So I'm
примерно
gonna be
такая
taking
же.
it from
Как бы
what's
это
hardest
не
or
биджесность, это
consistent for me
отсылка.
personally, and then just go from there. That said, I'm going to be starting with Mercury City Meltdown. And with that, I'm ready to give a countdown. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Best of luck, Junior.
Thank you. So,
Итак, поехали, поехали.
what exactly is SSX? SSX is an arcade-style snowboarding game. This is a launch title, SSX 2000. This was a launch title for the PS2, and it was the foundation of the entire SSX series, really. As a result,
SSX,
if you're
оказывается,
familiar with
это
SSX IP or
так
3,
называемый
it
launch
doesn't have those
title,
kind
то
of
есть
retraced or infinite boosts.
первая
You
игра,
have access
которая
to
вышла на
retrace
PS2,
build
ну
up
или
boosts
одна из
and
первых,
use that boost
что было в
to
комплекте с
maintain
выходом консоли PlayStation 2. Это вот такие аркадные гоночки на сноуборде. Как раз в тему, я считаю, потому что сейчас, не знаю, по крайней мере, у меня очень холодно. Да, вот пишите в чате, насколько у вас холодно, у меня минус 20, я чуть не простыл. Я довольно тяжело холод переношу.
Junior's pretty happy that Kaori won because Kaori has a pretty good start boost.
Second best is Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe's is also very, very good.
That's okay.
And that's
Вообще, это такой слалом на максималках, что мы аж между зданиями крутимся туда-сюда.
The main viable characters are the 4 that were featured in this bid war, those being Zoe, Kaori, Elise, and Mac. I believe Zoe is the best, generally speaking, but Kaori, not a bad pick at all, and I believe Junior's favorite character. You're nailing these rails, by the way.
That's okay.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
That
The donut,
area
that's a
is
really
probably the hardest part of the entire run to nail consistently because of the weird lineups for the rails and buildings.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I have
that last rail.
tons of backups.
That last rail
Тут был
especially.
довольно тяжелый момент с зоной, что вот его
But I can still get up
перенесло
here. This is
обратно
where the
на
rails would have led to.
трассу.
Mhm.
Потому что тут
So
немножечко
there are also a few
кривые,
terrains in this
скажем
game.
так,
There's,
участки
your
трассы
general
есть.
snow. There's also powder, which is basically deeper snow. You'll go a little bit slower and sink into that a bit more.
Yeah.
And there's ice, in which you will accelerate faster. There are also some like bonus terrains.
Также
such as
есть
some
физика
rocks, which you'll
снега,
generally skid across,
что вот
and rails, as we
тот
saw
снег,
earlier,
который
those
вне
are
трассы,
usually
он
best. You can go
глубже,
ultra
и
fast on
поэтому
rails that
скейт
will
движется
sink.
чуть медленнее,
And
потому
there's also
что
a
скейт
speed boost
утопает в
power-up
снег.
that can be collected.
All right, what's coming up is the first select warp in this run. A select warp is when you go to a specific spot and you hit select to warp yourself out of there. and the game throws you forward to like a much further checkpoint further in the level. I'm going on top of this building, select orbing, and I just got chucked forward basically.
Yeah, so as you can see, it basically respawns your character in a
Также
certain way.
есть
It's as a
ворпы.
safety tool to
Это
avoid
когда
save blocks and
мы
such,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like
идем в
that.
определенные точки, и игра нас
Really
выкидывает
neat
далеко
how we can
вперед.
use it to basically skip forward in the track.
And that is the
And
first
that's
track.
Mercury City Meltdown. Good stuff.
Thank you. The next track I'm going to go to is Tokyo Megaplex. If anyone noticed, I only have myself and one other boarder, Hero. The reason for that is this track and its immense RNG.
Yeah, so as you'll see when we get into the level, Tokyo Megaplex has a lot of different buttons and moving parts of track. And the AI snowboarders can hit these buttons, so we want that to happen as little as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to explain most of where all the RNG is on the first lap. And since this is a unique track where it repeats itself 3 times,
Это вот
you
трасса
can use
будет
most
немножко
of the rest of that
тролльской,
for
потому
donations or
что
other
искусственный
messages.
интеллект на скейтере может задевать
Here's the
участки
first
трассы.
instance of RNG. This fan, it can send you anywhere between the left, middle, and right. It can also send you either on top of the rail or not. I got
От этого
lucky.
вентилятора тебя может отправить во все 4 стороны. И
The
это
rails are very finicky in
рандомно.
this game.
Links with a select warp right there. And I hit that button. And I want this button to stay down. These doors are another instance of RNG. They can open and swing close on a whim, so you just kind of have to be ready.
Вообще, трасса немножко напоминает Fall Guys
Bumpers
с этими
and those
препятствиями.
doors. Besides my one mistake, I got a pretty fair first lap
Я ранее говорил, что
to maintain this.
большинство из этих препятствий довольно рандомные.
Boosting is essentially just when you're at a good speed, you use that to maintain your boost. Like, maintain your speed while conserving boost, essentially.
And one thing I want to mention here is that Junior's not going to go for this because it's awful, but there is a way you can skip a lap on this track. It involves pretty much like going back up the rails and then jumping back into the fan. I don't entirely understand it because I don't play this game very much, but it's absurd. So if you ever get a chance to see it, definitely check it out. It's really funny.
To be honest, even I barely understand it, and I played this game. It's a ridiculous skip that's very difficult.
Ну да,
But yeah, I think
Fall
now's a
Guys
good
и
time for
подобное —
any
это
messages.
дань уважения, например, тому же
Sounds good.
замку
We do have
Такеши.
donations coming in. Thank you again, everyone, for supporting Prevent Cancer Foundation. We have $50 from Verdant Mischief.
Кстати, офигенное шоу.
Hi, Sammy. Smiley face. Thank
Hi,
you so much
friends.
for that one. We
О,
also
тоже
have
передали
Tony
привет за
who says,
50 бачей.
"Oh, you really made it, huh? It's unreal. So proud of you, buddy. Keep it up. Tear up those slopes. Put my dono to Yakuza Super Boss. Oh, that's a great incentive that we have open right now. We have already met the karaoke performance incentive for that run, but the Super Boss showcase for Yakuza happening either later today or
Задонатили
next week, depending on your time
$25
zone.
на
Still need some help? It's at just under 9,000 out of the
Donut Beat.
$30,000, so that's one of your donation options.
босс
We also
шоу-кейса.
still have Baltic Void Plus Showcase, again, under $200. So if we can meet that one during this run, that'd be really exciting. Again, that'd just be great for the runner to know that's going to happen, so they can give us the best showcase possible.
I would just like to say a 2:35. Yeah, that's my best time I've gotten on console. It's a very strong time for a track
Wow.
as inconsistent as this one. Like in
Honestly, yeah,
RTA
after that
category.
one mistake, that looked really good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Next is another difficult track. I mentioned in the interview, Mesa Blanca. This one's the one that has the Wild West aesthetic. And
Mesa Blanca, or as I call it, 50-50 rail. You'll see why.
Следующая трасса будет
yes,
тоже
Love
непростой.
Razel, the announcer, by the way, he's the greatest. But yeah, this track has a lot of cutting through trees, avoiding rocks narrowly, rails, a lot of rails, and it's very
Надо
tight.
будет маневрировать между камнями, деревьями.
But when you are like consistent at it or like get a good run, it does feel really good. didn't get a start boost there, but that's okay. I forget if Felix mentioned it, but like each character has a slightly different timing for the start boosts.
Yeah, I did mention that. So this, as you can see, this track has a lot of trees and rocks, and so Junior will be taking some very specific lines here.
Yes.
Something I also wanted to bring up, but I almost forgot about, is the control scheme that Junior is using. There are a couple different control schemes in this game.
Oh yes.
And yes, Junior is specifically using the Pro control scheme rather than default one. And that's because it allows Junior to turn while holding jump, which is not something you can really do on the default scheme.
Yeah, it helps a lot with optimal lines and like lineups,
Junior, то есть спидранер, использует
which is basically just how you get
другую
spins.
схему управления, потому что это позволяет поворачивать во время прыжка.
It's basically required in show off as well, the tricks category.
Speaking of tricks, there is a board style that is specifically tailored to that, called freestyle. And then to contrast that, there's the Alpine board, which is tailored towards speed. But one we always use in the speedrun is called BX, the balance sort of board.
Yes, that's what I'm using right now. It's okay.
А вообще я не очень шарю в географии, но на каньонах может снег идти?
Exclamation point tree.
Oh, I didn't get a jump out. That's okay.
How did you get on that rail? Oh, wow.
You really have to master how rail physics work. Leaning up your board a lot like that helps you get on a lot more rails that you would like otherwise miss. You'll see me do it a lot in Snow Dream. Snow Dream teaches you a lot about that. Okay. And that's Mesa Blanca. It was a decent Mesa Blanca.
So coming up next is Elysium Alps, I believe.
Yes. This, I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself, but this is kind of my best IL because it's the one I spent the most time on. Hopefully I can perform in a way that shows that off. It's also the longest, like by far, like at the highest level. The current world record is 3 minute 6 second, like 306.50 by Kellycat. So
Yeah, so
it's a pretty
we'll be
long
here a
track.
while.
Hmm?
We'll be here a while.
Yeah, there will be a good amount of time for donations and whatnot as well. This also has the most amount of select warps in 4. You see the first one in like the first 10 seconds.
This first one comes very early.
That's okay.
Welcome to the Elysium Alps.
Okay. A little bit of a slow lineup, but I still get the warp, and it throws me all the way forward right there. And I can just squeeze through there.
Несмотря на то, что ранее испытал трудности в начале
3 minutes
трассы, у
of
него
optimization, basically.
Basically,
получилось варпнуться.
We should explain bunny hopping. I believe about a minute in, you will do some bunny hopping.
oh yeah. It's not a big thing in this game as much as it is in like, say, SSX Tricky, but we'll see it in Untracked since the incentive for the extra tracks got met. Thank you all for that. But in Powder, your board and your border typically sink under. That was actually a good bailout. Because you can jump like that, and it helps you stay above the powder. And usually helps you maintain max speed, 74 miles an hour. Alright, coming up is the second ward.
А сейчас будет еще один варп. Вообще, кстати, человая игра очень выглядит. И музончик приятный.
I'd say there's some time for donations right now.
Sounds good. I'm gonna do my best with this one. It's $50 from DJ Atomica, who says, "Hey folks, DJ Atomica here. It's time to shake what your mama gave ya. SSX is peak time, and it would be a gin and sin to not donate with no remorse to this top bomb of a game. From the Elysium Alps to Mesa Blanca, get ready to enjoy this snow dream of a game before you have a Mercury City meltdown and watch this style mile of a run. It's about to get SSX tricky down these deadly descents, but Junior is about to go SX on tour like a pro and show us how it's done." I hope some of you see what I did there. Thank you so much for that $50 donation.
That was wonderful.
That was a fantastic.
Прилетел донат на $50. Прям очень хорошо
Wonderful with their donations.
поддержали игру прям таким этим зачиткой.
There you go. You still have time for a couple more. The rest of this track is basically just straightaways and path boosting.
Sounds good. We have $5 from Prod16, who says, "Gotta get in a donation for SSX, one of my favorite game series. I also absolutely love to see virtual avatars being welcomed to GDQ. Thank you for that $5 donation. And for everyone donating $5,
О,
$50,
тут
$100,
на донате в $5 поддерживают витюберов, и тут оказывается больше фанатов SSX, чем казалось.
Every bit does count and every bit makes a difference. Thank you all. We also have $500 from 111 too, who says, "Digging these runs. Gotta put that money towards that delicious cake in Portal. Hoping for a sing-along at the end of Portal? Fingers crossed. Portal is making some moves here. It's at 23,000 out of that needed $80,000 for that
А
bonus."
также закинули денежку на Portal.
Alright, that was the end of Elysium Alps. 3 minutes 17 seconds is a pretty good time. So I'm pretty content with that. Let's see. Up next is actually Snow Dream. I mentioned it before, but it's another track like Mesa Blanca. Oops, not Elise. It's another track like Mesa Blanca where it's very tight, but instead of having a ton of trees and rocks and then a couple rails, it has like all rails basically. I'm gonna try my best to get on as many of them.
Эта трасса тоже непростая, хотя, учитывая, что до конца рана осталось не так много времени, судя по эстимейту, тут все трассы непростые.
So, we'll see how much this track agrees with me.
We haven't seen anything particularly egregious yet this run, but sometimes
Sometimes
Junior
things
will.
happen.
Sometimes Junior will land directly on a rail, and the game will just say no. Like, it gets bad sometimes. It's been okay so far though. But yeah, lots of rails and tight jumps here in Snow Dream.
10 rails like that, they happen a lot. Like, whenever you see a 10 rail, that's usually you were close to the rail, but still too far. Alright, there's another precise rail coming up. Let's see if I can get it. Awesome. Oh, they really like me. Let's see, I'm probably gonna hit that. Yeah, but that's totally fine. Because I want to be here. I'm gonna do a couple hops around here. Just to help
Хоть и раннер врезался, но
being over
как бы все равно раннеру туда надо было, так что не очень страшно.
Okay.
Oh, the
That's
tree.
okay. Oh, I see. The warp threw me all the way to the top of this entire section. That can happen sometimes.
Oh no.
It's not the worst thing, but this game does have
Небольшой анлак произошел.
areas where you
Варпнуло
and it'll
раньше,
throw
чем
you,
надо.
like very far backwards, almost like the opposite of select warp. So you just have to be
Kinda reminds
conscious
me
of it.
It reminds me of some of the older Mario Kart games.
Yeah, basically. Squeeze it through here. And that's basically the track. Oh.
Я сам прям перед самым финишем упал.
That's alright.
Это не очень такой форме.
Couple hiccups, but it was far from bad.
It happens.
Ну, я
Up next
думаю,
is Aloha Ice Jam, the
коленочки
last
раннера
track
в
in the round.
порядке будут.
This one has a really neat clip at the start that I think Junior is going to give 3 attempts.
Roughly, yeah.
You can just there will be a wall to the right that you can just totally clip through.
Yes.
Hopefully we see it. It's very finicky, so
Yeah. It's only a little bit more agreeable than the lap skip strat in Tokyo Megaplex, which isn't saying much. So like I'll give it a couple tries. If I don't
Yeah.
get it, I'll just continue with the whole run. Time will come up at the end of this track though.
Ой, сейчас последняя трасса, также сейчас раннер попробует одну штучку. Если не получится, то он будет так уж и быть,
Yeah,
проходить,
that's pretty close.
как обычно.
That one not so much. That's what you want to see.
yes, let's go. That is
Вот эту
It
штучку
is
показать
very
хотел.
hard. I'm actually really happy I got that.
I'm also very happy you got that. That's awesome.
Сложный скип,
3 attempts is not a lot, so the fact that you got it is
но
really awesome.
Yeah.
прям очень много срезал.
All right.
Junior's so good at that.
That was a silly wipeout, but not a bad one.
Yeah, that was interesting. I believe there's like a lucky speed boost you can get entering that cave that you were
Yeah.
telling me about.
It's like really rare, but like sometimes for some unexplainable reason, you can just get a lot of momentum in that watery cave. Okay, I like this section right here. It's very satisfying for a while.
It's such a cool and unique track.
That was another case of pulling my board down.
Wow.
All right, this track is basically over. I have one select warp right here, and then the finish line is like 5 seconds from here.
We'll get ready on time.
Yep. And time.
Прям очень хорошо получилось проехать раннеру. И время.
Well done. That was a great ice jam.
Yeah, that was really strong. It only took me a couple of tries to get the wall clip too, so I'm very happy with that. All in all, not too bad of a run actually. Since the other tracks were also met, I can also perform them as well, of course. But I have to go to free ride for them because they're not race tracks. Okay, sure.
I want to say congratulations again on that run, and thank you again, everyone, for donating. We met this incentive way back, raising over $3,000. Or sorry, yes, $4,000. My bad, $4,000 for this extra track showcase. This is all thanks to your generosity that we get to see these next 2 tracks, and oh, I'm so excited. They're really unique and really awesome.
For these 2 tracks, I would say about 5 minutes. Okay,
Вот, сейчас будут показываться
let me.
дополнительные трассы,
3, 2, 1.
но в
Go.
режиме фристайла.
So these are the 2 bonus tracks, Pipe Dream and then Untracked.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for donating, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. I really appreciate it. This
So
track.
Pipe Dream is... Yes, you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's very basic. It's only a minute long. It doesn't have a lot of tech. It mostly has one well-timed jump that you need to worry about, and the rest is just holding straight lines. The reason it's so basic is because this is a show-off course, but I'm racing through it. I don't really care about performing so much as going fast.
Alright, so that really precise jump is coming up.
That's great.
Сейчас будет сложный прыжок.
Incredible. That is so hard to do. That is exactly what Junior wanted. If
Yeah.
you land on like the very lip of that ramp, you can kind of get pulled down just like that.
Yeah, converts all your forward momentum into like vertical momentum, or rather the opposite. it pulls you down and pushes you forward a lot.
Then there's a very tiny adjust on the second to last rail here that Junior's going to do. Just that. It saves like 0.1 seconds.
Basically,
It's very small.
it's extremely minute, but it saves, like, it's important in the IL if you're going for, like, let's say sub 1 minute 3 seconds.
This IL is incredibly optimized, as you can imagine. Most of the ILs in this game are getting to be that way.
Значит, этот
Let's
прыжок
see.
сохраняет всего 0,1 секунды.
It's pretty good.
That's really solid, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing that went wrong there. You got the jump, and then it's the rest of the track's pretty simple. So
Yeah. That's part of the reason it's so optimized. There's only 1-2 things to worry about.
Exactly.
Untracked, on the other hand, this is a far more dynamic track, and is also my favorite in this whole game.
Yep. So this track is entirely powder, and you might recall from way back at the beginning of the run, I said that powder is slower. You will sink into it more because it's like deeper snow, basically.
Yes. So what I'm gonna be doing is, this is where you'll see the most amount of like jump strats, bunny hopping. I'm gonna try and I'm trying to keep my board above the ground while also getting good boosts from
Эта трасса — это
time and forming
буквально
the
гора.
straightest path I can.
без дорожки, тут очень много глубокого снега, поэтому
Right
тут
here is the
раннер
first
будет
select board. There's 2 of
чуть
them.
ли не банни-хоппить,
I do bunny hops to go forward and then
чтобы пребывать как можно меньше в этом снегу.
Something we did not touch on is the tricks. Doing an experimental, which uses... It has the most buttons. Its button combo has
Yeah.
the most buttons. That gives you the most boost, but tail grab is the fastest trick to do.
yeah. So there will be times where like you need boost, and like you'll think, oh, I want to do an experimental, but you don't have that much air, so you just have to do a tail grab and get what you can get. Little things like that help make it for like a lot of like boost precision.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of bunny hopping here. This track is very precise and skill intensive, and bunny hopping kind of plays into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like, for big jumps like that, I'm trying to ride the top of them so I get less airtime. That rail is finicky.
Ну, вон, видишь, на вебке контроля, вот у него такой,
You went straight
короче.
through that rail. You went directly through that rail. That was wild.
Oh, lucky.
You just bonk into the tree. It doesn't matter. Kaori's fine.
Yeah, she's alright.
She doesn't care.
Alright, here's another tight rail. Looks massive, but really isn't. And then I'm gonna squeeze through here. Do some more bunny hops, and then another select board. Chucks me all the way forward here. This is the second longest track in the game, by the way.
А вообще, кто-нибудь на чем-нибудь катается? Там, раз уж тут вот на скейтборде, не скейтборде, сноуборде, там лыжи какие-нибудь, или реально на сноуборде кто-то катался.
It's amazing. It's very satisfying to play casually and at the highest level. Alright, the end of the track is basically here. It's a lot of straightaways from here. Like, I'd say just like 15 seconds of just path boosting and going to the left.
Yeah. So get ready on time again.
Yeah, it's gonna be right when I'm under that helicopter.
Я, кстати, тоже любитель поскользить на своих двоих.
Alright, and time.
Правда, после этого колени болят, потому что на них
Jeez,
падаю.
Junior, well done.
О, время, тут все
That felt like a pretty good on track.
немножечко не успел
It was
за
almost
5
a
минут.
2-4x
Ну так, молоточком
where
побьют,
the times start
таким,
getting really precise.
которые эти врачи
So I'm happy with that.
здоровье проверяют.
Any shoutouts that you have?
Yes. Let's see. First, I'm gonna shout out Helix, because
What?
yes, they're the person that made me like submit in the first place to GDQ. Like they
Did you submit?
okay, but like they convinced me. They were just like, worst that can happen is I get a no, and I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? I did not expect to actually like get in, because I've only been like speedrunning this game for like 8 months now. So to have like achieved something that I consider like beyond my wildest imagination in like such a short time span, I'm just like eternally grateful.
Вообще,
I just wanna say
вот
really
ранее
quick that I've
говорит,
been
что
watching
не
you
ожидал
start running
попасть на
this game get
ГДК,
better and better, and it's been so
потому что вот на
cool and
такой
inspiring to
марафон,
see. And watching you eventually get into marathons,
для
and
такого
really glad that you
марафона
got this opportunity.
чел не так
I'm so
много
proud of
ранит,
you.
всего
Congrats
8
on the run,
месяцев.
for
Thank you
real.
so much.
Но вообще можно поздравить,
A couple
что
of shout outs I want to make.
как бы
The
не
SSX
так
community
такой
at large,
новичок, да, а уже
it's
на
a small one,
марафоне.
but they're all pretty like committed to the series. They love the games. They're kind people that I can talk with, and I appreciate all of them. So, yeah, you guys rock. Thank you for supporting me. Daggy and Rithik are two SSX3 runners, well, in the past anyway, that I used to watch a lot. I wanted to also shout them out because they're
Ну
I
вообще,
ended up
как бы
recently
пацан к успеху
watching
идет.
their
Я
SSX
думаю,
speedruns was
что
one of the things that really got me into speedrunning.
мы
So
можем его поддержать в его
I
карьере,
would
чтобы
start running their
потом
runs more. So
какие-нибудь фанаты делали витюберские
grateful for
вырезки
them
на
and all the
ютубчике.
content they did. Kelly Cat, I mentioned before, he's like the best overall player of the SSX series. He's taught me a majority of what I know now, and has been like a good friend.
Также передают прям
I appreciate
очень
them as well.
хорошему раннеру SSX.
My friends obviously for always supporting me, as well as GDQ staff for like working so hard behind the scenes to put this all together. Like, this is just a great event for a great cause. I'm like honored to be here, and you can't understate the amount of work they all put in. So I wanted to publicly thank them for that.
Where can everyone find you if they want to watch your stream?
Yes, you can find me at twitch.tv/junior_SM. I'm usually streaming either this. I'm like learning SSX Tricky right now. I've spent some time with SSX3, and I'm going to revisit that to learn it more as well. And I'm also revisiting Crash Team Racing and like speedrunning that game more as well. So if you like old racing games, then yeah, just check me out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so